Here's the Schmo with the pro. He's the inaugural WEC Middleweight champion. He's the OG of the fight game. He was on the first season of The Ultimate Fighter. He's the former UFC fighter, the current coach here at the training center in San Diego, California, the referee, the judge, Chris Leben in the flesh. How we doing?
Doing good, man. I'm doing good.
Listen, you're a history maker. There's never been a UFC fighter that's then judged and also refereed.
I don't believe so. As far as judging goes, I know Triggs repped a couple UFC fights, but I might be the first one to have fought and then judged.
History maker.
History maker.
Who would have thought that crazy guy with the red hair would be making all this history?
You know, it's been a long road. I'm a very different person than I was back then. And it's awesome, man. It's been a wild ride, exciting journey, and it just keeps getting better every day.
Listen, you're someone the Schmo can speak to after judging and stuff like that. You get all the respect in the world because, listen, who's got a better eye for this sport than you do? You've actually competed in it at the highest level and been very successful.
Well, thank you. I think that I don't think you have to be a fighter to be a great judge, but I certainly think it lends some benefits for sure, especially in the validity. When people want to argue about a score or a call, if you go, well, hey, listen, this guy's got 20 plus UFC fights, I think that helps your argument a little bit.
What do you think you've learned the most now that you're a judge that you didn't know, let's say, when you were a fighter? What do you think has been the thing that stood out to you the most?
Well, I will say that, I certainly didn't have the fight sense that I do now. It's unfortunate that youth is wasted on the young, because if I knew what I know now, I probably would have had a different game plan going into a lot of the fights, you got it as fighters now. They're much smarter too. They're in their head while they're fighting. They're keeping track of their score. They know going into that last minute if they're probably going to be up on the cards or if they're down on the cards. And that's something that when I was younger, I never even took into account. I just fought as hard as I could the whole time.
What's the criteria that you value the most? Is it control time? Is it damage? Is it significant strikes? When you're judging a fight, what do you look at the most here?
Well, I mean, we say effective striking and grappling, but yeah, damage. Damage is king. There's no way around it. Trying to finish the fight. Whether you elbow a guy and split his head open, that's a big score. You get a triangle on a guy and he's almost out and he exhausts himself trying to escape that triangle. That's a big score. You take a guy down, but you don't do much with it. I'm not going to score that. Sure, it's octagon control, it's cage control, but that's not the goal. We want to see who's trying to finish the fight, who's bringing the fight closer to getting finished in their favor. The things that you do that are going to make the fight end in your favor. Those are the things I want to score on.
Saturday evening, it's going to be a big event for you and the Schmo. It's Bellator 300 here in San Diego, California. What's going to be your role for the main event?
I think I'm judging that one. So yeah, I'll be there. I've got a handful of fights on that card. Pretty exciting. I think I've got the main event as well. And man, what a good card. I'm a judge. I'm not a fan, so I would never say that I'm excited to watch some of these fights. But you got Liz Carmouche fighting Lima, right? Cyborg is fighting Kat. I mean, those are San Diego locals. Those girls, and I think those are going to be incredible matchups.
Certainly is going to be. Let's talk about your life as a coach. With all the skill sets you've been learning, what do you think has transitioned to what you're teaching to these students of the game?
I again, going back, I think a lot of it goes to the ring sense, I'll do a drill where, I'll have them fighting and I'll be like, okay, how much time do you think is on the clock? Within the rounds, while they're sparring. Okay, what do you got? We got a minute, we got 2 minutes, and I'll keep that just so they know where they're at. Are you up or are you down on the cards? What do you need to do? What do you need to do to keep this round? To win this round, right? We're going to need to get that takedown. We're going to need to land a couple shots. To put that money in the bank, So I definitely focus a lot more on that. And then, I mean, obviously the sport has evolved immensely since I was fighting. I mean, you can't just go out and slug it out for 15 minutes straight. You gotta go out there. You gotta set traps. You gotta set stuff up. You gotta build. You gotta see where your opponent's making mistakes, and you gotta capitalize on it. So, yeah.
As someone who's wreaked havoc in the middleweight division throughout your career, what do you make of Shan Strickland as the new UFC middleweight champion, upsetting Israel Adesanya in Australia last month?
You know, I don't think there's anybody that would say they weren't blown away by that performance. You know, again, as a judge, I can't favor one fighter or another fighter or anything like that. But what I would say was incredible performance.
Sounds like you're getting very politically correct. You gotta be these days, huh?
You gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah.
So you don't have like favorite fighters that you watch anymore because you gotta be refereeing. You gotta be judging these guys.
That's correct.
Wow, Chris.
That's it.
The Schmo's seen this transition from you over the years. It's a beautiful thing.
Thank you. Thank you.
What do you think's your favorite part of the fight game these days, now that you're in this position at this time of your journey?
Oh man, you know, I mean, listen, I've, you know, it's been such a journey, you know, and this sport has given me my life, you know, and now to be a judge and be able to give some back, you know, and hopefully make a difference. I mean, that's a huge, you know, that's a huge piece, you know, and also to stay connected and stay part of the sport that I love, you know. Going back and working these fight nights and these Dana White Contender Series that I did on Tuesday, you know, seeing a lot of the faces from the UFC, it's great. I still get to stay connected and see a lot of people that I've known for years.
What do you think it's going to take for Mike Beltran to cut off the beard? It's pretty damn long. Do you think he's ever going to do it? Is that ever going to come off, or is he going to take that thing to the grave?
Man, it just keeps getting longer and longer too. You know what I mean? I think at this point, there's no way he can't. He's got too many years into that thing. You can't cut that off.
You don't think he could lose some crazy bet and that thing would go away one day?
That'd have to be one crazy bet.
What do you think it would be?
I don't know. If you're going to put that beard on the line, that's got to be a big bet.
Certainly is. Can we get a final message for all the Chris Leben fans out there worldwide?
What's up, guys? Hey, thank you for your support, you know, through the whole journey. You know, a lot of people have hit me up. They've said, you know, they've watched me since The Ultimate Fighter. You know, they've seen the growth and the change, you know, and you know, and I appreciate that, you know, and yeah, if you're struggling, man, reach out to me because you know that I've been through it, and you know, I love the fact that, you know, people can see how my life has changed and evolved, and if you need help, man, hit me up, hit me on Instagram, and I'll help you out too.
The Crippler, legend of the sport. He's the pro. I'm the Schmo. Training Center, San Diego, California. We're out.